Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. I hope you all are having a fantastic goddamn day. In this video, I'm just gonna go through all of my guitars and tell you a little story about them, and I think you'll be surprised that I don't play anything too special. Anyways, let's go check out some guitars. Alright, so what we have here is a Harley Benton Aeolus. I think that's how you pronounce it. So this is a semi-hollow body. I really got this guitar because I wanted to kind of have something that was like BB King-ish, you know? Something with some body, but also I didn't spend like $1 million for like a Gibson, you know, 335 or something like that. This has been a good little guitar. This is the newest edition. It's in that Bangle kind of fire burst. I think that's the term. And this is, you know, a Harley Benton. This is like a budget guitar. Honestly, I think fully with shipping, because they have shipped these across the Atlantic. I think this was around like $450 total with shipping. Don't quote me on that. But anyways, this thing has some Grover locking tuners up there, which is super nice. A flame roasted neck. And it's got stainless steel frets, which is very nice. And then down here, I'm pretty sure it's like a Tune-o-matic bridge. And then it's got Tesla pickups. I don't really know about that brand, but they sound pretty good. I've done a few videos where I like actually shred on this thing. And so it can do, you know, basically any mode of playing that you want. Last but not least, it has a coil tap. All right, now this is the granddaddy. This is a Randy Rhoads. I don't know if it's a Randy Rhoads 1, 2, 3. In fact, I don't really know what those mean. I think I got this back in 2006, and it's been with me everywhere. It's definitely lasted this long because of how well it was made. And that's because I've pretty much destroyed this whole thing. I've like covered it in tape. I've also dropped this thing like a trillion times. You can see right there that one of the tuners is held on with like a hand screwed in bolt right there. And then also, if you can see right there, a piece of the headstock actually came off. I put construction adhesive on there and it's been there ever since. You can do anything with glue. So I've had a ton of different pickups in here. I've had the stock ones. I put some Seymour Duncan blackouts here at one point, and then it's just been the Nazgul Sentient Pair, which those are probably my favorite pickups as of right now. I put a Floyd Rose Pro bridge on this because this did come with like a licensed trim, which took a crap on me, because that's what they do. They're zinc alloy. They're not that great. This has been a phenomenal guitar. Really enjoy playing it. Probably need to get it fret dressed. All right, guys, so I used to call this thing the Green Baddie, but now I think I'm gonna call it Willie Fresh, because it slaps. So this is a Telestyle Harley Benton, you know, a nice budget brand, and I actually got this from getting 3rd place on Guitar Max Guitar Shred Contest. If you don't know Guitar Max, it's Max Carlisle. He's a YouTuber. He does a bunch of reviews on guitars, like budget style guitars, and shows the value of some of these budget brands because, you know, you're paying an exorbitant amount of prices for like Fender, Jackson, all these other brand names. Granted, they're good guitars, but you can find some diamonds in the rough in like Harley Benton, AIO, and guitars that are just a little bit cheaper that play phenomenally. This thing is pretty interesting. It doesn't have the hottest pickups. It's got Roswell humbuckers in here, which can be split. The build of it for what it costs, I think, when this was being sold, it was around $300. I'm just super impressed. It's got the stainless steel frets, a beautiful neck and fretboard, and then also Harley Benton just, you know, makes it a little bit more tempting with these locking machine heads. It's got a Wilkinson's trem, which has been pretty good for, you know, I use a lot of tremolo, and I'm really impressed with it. So yeah, go check Harley Benton out. I think it's worth the money to at least experiment with a couple of their guitars, and I think you'll be pretty impressed by the build. Also, go check out Guitar Max. Probably one of the best YouTube guitar channels on the platform. Yeah. All right, yes, even players that have been playing for as many years as me still have Squire Telecasters. So I got this off of Craigslist for maybe like $100, I think $100. It is a basic from the factory, made in China Telecaster. I bought it knowing it was cheap, made in China, had a bunch of imperfections on it, tons of dents, even on the neck has a bunch of dents, but you know, this thing just looks classic to me. It's got a great maple neck. It's like a finished maple neck, which has been great. It definitely has a lot of relief to it. You can tell the neck is pretty flimsy, but there's some good pickups in this. This has two Seymour Duncan hot rails in there. So basically, I kind of threw humbuckers in this, almost, you know. They're single coil in size. I did a video about this where I put this through Will Putney's actual guitar plugins, and this thing performs pretty beautifully, and it sounds pretty good. Just the thing is, with any cheap guitar, you know, it doesn't stay in tune all that well. There's some fret buzz on it. I could take the time and fret dress it, but you know, this is something that I just noodle around with. It's got those classic Fender tuners on there, which I really like. But other than that, for $100, this thing has actually played pretty well, and I'm happy with it. I don't want to change anything about it. The White Devil. So y'all know what this is. This is an Ibanez Genesis RG550. Yep, just like the 1987 model, pretty close. And this is probably my favorite guitar. You know, it's just that beautiful polar white, and you can get this guitar in like polar white, yellow, purple. And this thing's awesome. It comes stock with Goto machine heads, which are an awesome little plus. It's got that 3-piece maple neck on the back. Maple fretboard, which is just beautiful. I like to switch out pretty much everything I buy. So it had a parallel axis distortion in the bridge, and now it's got the Nazgul Sentient pair. Also, as always, it's got the Ibanez Edge bridge, which is fantastic. Probably one of the best tremolos out there. What I like about this tremolo is like, you don't even know it's there. When you're playing with it, it's like no resistance, but it's still got that, that like stability to it. So it's been my favorite trem so far. One little mod I did is I put a Tessie kill switch in there. And you know, that's where the volume knob was, and I hate volume knobs that are right by the bridge pickup because I always like turn the volume down. So I moved the volume knob all the way down here so I just don't, you know, have to mess with it anymore. And that was a really easy mod. There's no 9-volt battery that goes with this Tessie switch because there's no light, it's just black. So if you're looking for a kill switch, check out those Tessie kill switches without the light. It's really easy to install. It's just 2 connections and you're done. Other than that, it's got the nice Ibanez base plate on there. Yeah. All right, so now this is a Dean ML79, I think. I got this when I left home and joined the military and was you know, kind of bored in my barracks room and needed something to play. I bought this, I'm pretty sure, on Musician's Friend back in 2007, and I pretty much switched out everything on this guitar. Like, none of the knobs are, you know, stock. These came from an old Squire, like Fender, like Stratocaster or something. So I've got some Seymour Duncan blackouts in here, and this is a bridge Seymour Duncan blackout, and this is a bridge Seymour Duncan blackout. So, yeah. Anyways, they sound great. I wouldn't change it for the world. I just wanted to see what would happen if I put a bridge up here, and guess what? It still sounds pretty good. Anyways, this thing's got a finished back to it, which it gets a little sticky, but that's okay. But it's got that awesome Dean headstock, right? Very reminiscent of Dimebag Darrell. I want to say this was $500 back in 2008, back 2006, 2008. All a big blur. A cosmetic damage on this thing, but that's what makes your guitars yours, right? If you damaged it, you keep it, you claim that. And this thing still has the Floyd Rose licensed trem in there. I have no idea, I'm assuming it came from Dean because it doesn't have any other markings on it. I'm actually planning on putting a titanium bridge in this. I tend to make my guitars kind of like a Frankenstein, so we'll see how that goes. All right, guys, I just want to thank y'all for stopping by. Those are my guitars. Nothing really special. I don't really have anything over $1,000, to be honest with you, and I don't think you need to either. Of course, there's those special guitars out there that you have to have, but if you're just playing guitar and trying to, get better, or it's a hobby, look for those deals. Everything nowadays is like getting ridiculously expensive, so you can find some good playing instruments under $1,000 for sure. And then look into budget brands. Budget brands you can kind of play around with and find what you like, and there's usually almost always a money back guarantee. So look into Harley Benton, AIO, other budget brands, and I think you'll really be impressed. And as always, guys, if you haven't subscribed, please consider doing so below. It really helps me build the channel, and you won't miss out on any of my other videos. So with that said, thanks for stopping by. I will see you later.